Uh, yeah, yeah.
Hello Team Coach Adam here. I train at a big box gym, I coach boxing, and I sleep in a box outside my house. Not because I'm in trouble, mind you, it's just that my family keeps trying to talk to me. Anyways, this is part 4 of our fat burn series. We've talked about step count, liquids to avoid, and the best exercises to burn fat. But today we are discussing foods to avoid, and that's processed foods. There you go. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. Put in the comments what piece of information you loved the most. This is Coach Adam from Adam Up Gains Fitness. Get strong, get balanced, get going. Alright, I think that was our best one yet. Good job, everybody. Let's close it up. What? You're still here? You want more details, huh? Sheesh, you're worse than my blabbermouthed family. Well, okay. Let's break down some processed foods here. Here are some things that they share in common. Number 1, high sugar or high fructose corn syrup. This is your cookies, donuts, most cereals, and stuff like that. So we discussed this in details and liquids to avoid, but essentially, sugar tricks the body into wanting more of it once you consume it. As you eat sugar, blood sugar goes up. Insulin tamps it down, lowers your blood sugar, leaving you in the short term thinking you need more of it. That's why it's so hard to have just one cookie in the box. Immediately your body feels like it needs more. Number 2, high salt. Now these are your chips, popcorn, pretzels, and like sugar, these are highly craveable, and usually they're combined with additives like MSG that override your brain's satiety signals. You know, once you pop, you just can't stop. That wasn't just a slogan for Pringles, it was a huge red flag that it's a terrible food with no nutritional value. They also make you retain water, which is why if you are going to the beach and want to drop a couple pounds fast, reducing the salt and some carbs is a good way to reduce your water weight, which does show up around your torso. And you won't be dehydrated, you can still drink the water, it's just that your body will release it without storing it if there's not a lot of salt in your system. High sodium foods are also usually devoid of nutrients, which keeps you from feeling full. So if you've ever been to the movies and eaten a bunch of popcorn, you've likely had that feeling of being both full and hungry at the same time, because the calories are there, but it's terrible fuel for the body, which is kind of hungry because it wants something that's closer to actual food. Number 3, refined grains. Now we're talking about your breads, your pastas, your rice. This is a big problem area, and we get both issues from salt and sugar. These carbs are sugar adjacent. We get the same blood sugar spikes, plus you have low nutrient density, and that's a terrible combination and another big reason for a lot of weight gain. That's not to say you can't eat any breads, but if it's not high in fiber, it's pretty much a useless food, and refined grains, they are stripped of fiber. Number 4, cheap oils. Canola oil is the biggest culprit, but lots of seed and vegetable oils mess with your metabolism. And these are in everything that's processed, from French fries, frozen fried chicken, frozen pizza, peanut butter, dressings, packaged cookies, even creamers like Coffee Mate, right? It's insane how much oil we consume that's mixed into these groceries that we buy at the store. Now, we talked about vegetable and seed oils as well in our liquids to avoid video, so I would recommend you check that out. But in a nutshell, these oils are chemically produced using hexane, bleach, sodium hydroxide, or similar compounds. Don't try making seed oil at home with this process. You will die. And the final product in these oils is unlike anything we find in nature. Biologically, our bodies aren't meant to absorb it, and so we get inflated, bloated, lethargic. Aside from that, usually these processed foods have preservatives to extend shelf life, artificial flavors, dyes, all that extra stuff that we probably don't need. So how do we know what to eat? Well, if it's microwavable or in a box or a bag or doesn't expire in half a decade, it's likely processed. So that takes care of all food everywhere, right? Well, no, but it is a majority for sure, which is a shame, but it's not all doom and gloom. So here are some foods that I recommend to eat during your meals. So for breakfast, eggs, apples, high fiber bread with nut butter, Greek yogurt with granola. There's some granolas with high protein counts, right? Those are all good options. If you're a vegetarian, overnight oats are amazing, and they do have cereals with high protein like Special K, Catalina Crunch. That'll do in a pinch. They even make chickpea flour. They even make chickpea flour for pancakes, so you can give that a try. So lunch is when I normally have my protein shake, and I'll have that with a salad with chicken, with maybe some olive oil dressing or balsamic vinaigrette. A turkey low-carb wrap also works for me. I like those carb-balanced burrito skins. If I didn't have eggs for breakfast, I'll have a couple hard-boiled ones here. I also love a good Mexican bowl, right? Meat, beans, queso, avocado, and salsa. If you're vegetarian, just take the meat, have beans as your main protein source there. Dinner is a meat or fish, and a vegetable. If you have rice or pasta, it should be a side dish, not a main course, and the ones you choose definitely do matter. Wild rice is actually pretty good for you, better than just generic white or brown rice, and they make pasta that's made of chickpeas, which is so much better for you and have a lot of good protein in them. Now, do they taste as good? No, they're not chemically altered to taste really yummy. But when you start removing the processed food from your diet, it won't take long for your body to adjust and then eventually prefer it because it is the food your body wants to eat. It may be a rough 2 or 3 days, but real food will start to taste good. Another idea I use often is almond flour to make fried chicken in the air fryer. You can use almond flour to make homemade pizza crust or even bread. It's a very versatile food, and it's a much better alternative to just the regular white sacks of flour you find normally at the store. For snacks, nuts, olives, cottage cheese, berries, turkey sticks, or salami and cheese. For protein bars, I use RX bars because they have few ingredients but taste really good. Aloha bars if you're vegan or vegetarian, those are all good options. Now, you may notice that a lot of these options are high in protein, which is the most important food group and the one few people get enough of. So how to avoid eating processed foods? Well, we have a few options. The easiest is not buying it at all. If it's not at the home, you won't crave it nearly as much, obviously, right? Now, if you have kids, especially younger kids, yeah, that makes it harder. But if there are some foods that you have to buy for them that you don't want to eat because you can't stop eating it, find an alternative. And there are many great alternatives to some of your favorite foods. For me, it was peanut butter. That has always been my weakness, and with kids, it's always been in the house. This is where AI is totally your friend. I asked Grok if there's a lower calorie alternative to store brand peanut butter, and it provided me with powdered peanut butter. It's stripped of practically all the added sugars and oils and the garbage that contributes to its caloric density. And you can see here, regular store-bought peanut butter, 2 tablespoons, 190 to 200 calories. If you're going to the powdered peanut butter, it's 45 to 60, so it's essentially cut in a quarter. And it just has 3 ingredients. It's the powdered peanut butter, sugar, and salt, and the sugar is much, much less than you'll have in the store brand one. You just add water, and it's a pretty good approximation. Then I checked YouTube, and I found that if you mix it with Greek yogurt, you get that creamy peanut butter texture because it's a little chalky with just the powder and the water. And then if you add some protein powder to it, it's peanut butter on steroids. Add some 45-calorie sliced bread, some low-sugar strawberry preserves, and I can have PB&J again with mostly protein and barely any carbs. So there's a lot of good options out there. You also have the option of meal prepping, where you separate the foods you are going to eat into pre-made containers, where you know the calorie counts and just eat those. I'm sure you've heard of companies like HelloFresh that does that, and it delivers the food to your door, but it does cost like 3 times as much as regular groceries, and you gotta make sure you don't actually eat the other food too, otherwise you're wasting your money. Speaking of wasting money, not going out to eat, that's another big one. Everything at a restaurant has twice as many calories, with tenfold the oils and sauces and stuff at a restaurant that we don't need. None of this is easy, and there is no quick fix, but if you're trying to lose weight, you should really do something in your home that says, this food is different, so I shouldn't touch it. Separation is key, so the main points again. Number 1, don't buy it. 2, if you have to buy it, have an alternative in your house for your most craveable foods. You can meal prep, that's another option, and also just avoid restaurants as much as possible. Check in the description of the video, I'll have a link to a document with high protein food options and meals for both vegans, vegetarians, and for us regular people that eat animals as God clearly intended us to do. Use it as a guide, and don't worry about changing everything at once. Pick a group to remove or greatly reduce, either the sugar, the salt, or the refined grains. Replace it with some of the options I provide, and if you start to lose weight with 1 or 2 changes, then great. If not, replace something else and keep going. But I have a feeling if you're unhappy with your weight, you know the root cause, and you definitely need a healthy alternative and a separation strategy, because here it is, but I'm just not going to eat it, is not a system that normally works. If you have any thoughts or questions on anything I've discussed, or if you have your own ideas on how to avoid unhealthy foods, put them in the comments. I do respond to them all, and I love to read them, and you never know, someone else might read it, and you might be helping them too. This is Coach Adam from Adam Up Gains Fitness. Get strong, get balanced, get going.